A little more show and tell. Just showed you the birds. Here's a card that I've done with that. I like the blue chevron look. It's very modern and contemporary and popular everywhere. And I showed you Keep Calm and Eat a Cupcake. Well, here is Keep Calm and Cry a Little, if needed. Has an umbrella. Total different look just by changing the colors out. Again, that is a hostess set. All right, now the paper that we're going to be using for your card comes from the Festival of Prints, and you can find this in the holiday catalog. And there's 48 pieces of paper, and I'm not maybe 5 by 7 is the size. Lots of great colors in here, and you're going to be using some of the strips from it. I think this is like $6.95 for this pack of paper. It's very awesome. And I wanted to show you, here's a Christmas card that I made. And this is using that paper. But I wanted to also show that you're not limited when it's over. Like what happens in January and I got this paper? Well, here's something that I made using the blues and the reds together, and it says Kindness Matters. So, you know, baby Jesus in the creche is actually blue, but it doesn't have to be a natural color. You still recognize what it is. So sometimes we use colors all throughout the year. They're not limited just to a certain thing. Here's another example of using the strips. Looks a little bit like a cake, but it's supposed to be a Christmas tree. And I showed a lot of the different colors that come from the Festival of Prints paper. And then the Merry Christmas is one of the new sets that I got lately. And I like the font of that. And I actually stamped a little bit even on the paper. And I just showed you the Kindness Matters. Here's some more. It's a small set. I stamped it on the crumb cake, rounded off the edges, and then watercolored it. I did put a little bit of the white from the white pen, the white gel pen, just to stand out some. And here's a little bitty place card or a little gift tag with the butterflies again. And I did add a little piece of paper on the back so it would show through on the scallop. And I haven't played with this much either. I got all my stuff in the summer and then I moved. Okay, so here is a little cross stitch pattern and it just says welcome on it. And Olivia has just started cross stitching, and I used to do that when I was her age. So I'm very excited to pass down all my papers, my skeins of thread for her. The floss is what they call it. But anyway, so we have a stamp set with the cross stitch and it's really cute. I need to do some more with that. Okay, and here is a sample of something I did a while back, but it just has my initial on it. What I like about this is if you were to get one of the alphabet sets, here's an example. It's called Lovely Letters. It actually comes in 2 of the packages, and it's a great way to give as a gift set, because you can, you know, make it specifically for your friend. If her name is Sherry, put S on everything, and then she can then pass out, and she has her own personal stationery. Or if you wanted to have your own little pad of paper that had your initial on it, whenever you sent something out with this alphabet set, you're good to go. All right, now here's a sample of something that I did. It was keeping a list of what we're doing today, and of course I've changed it up. But I did want to show you how I put the P for my name. Is it necessary? No. But does it make life prettier? Yes. And it's simple. What, it takes 15 seconds? I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'm going to tilt this thing down. We'll see what happens. We may have a crash. All right. I'm going to use 2 colors, Sahara Sand and Island Indigo. And I'm also using my clear stamp. Acrylic is what I call it. See. Okay. If you touch it a lot, then the oils of your fingers are going to make this thing plop off, and you're going to be very frustrated, and you're going to say, I hate those stamps. When that happens, go ahead and get a little Dawn dishwashing liquid, a little water, and clean off those oils. And I would also suggest you might have to do the same thing here, because it should cling to each other. So if it's not clinging anymore, it just needs to be cleaned. All right, so here we go. I am going to stick my block. Did you see that? Stuck my block right there. And I just stamped on the paper, and I have a square. then I've got a darker color because that's what works best. And there I have an M for Margaret. So you can see how cute that is. And you can use this block with anything. You can stamp it on a piece of paper and then put an image inside. Just go light for the block and then darker for the inside. So that's a little fun tip. You won't actually be doing it today, but I wanted to show that to you. Now all of our pads have changed over. And at the time I was like, oh yuck, I love my pads. Why would I want to change it over? Well, you're going to love the new ones. Here's Raspberry Ripple, and it's in our new pad, and if you were to, it's very squishy. It's not hard like the other one was, which I didn't have a problem with. But this holds so much ink that you're going to have to handle the pad a little bit differently maybe than in the past. If you're banging it, you're going to put a pile of ink on your stamp, so be careful of that. So what you will be using here is Winter Memories. And this is one that I just purchased. You can get it in the holiday catalog. It has the skates, a sled, and then the snowman. I'm going to have a lot of samples to show you from that. Here we're going to make a tag. So you have a clear tag. You're just going to stamp the image on it and you're going to put the ribbon through. And I'm just going to show you how I'm going to tap this. Alright, so here I just put it on there and I'm kind of tapping, but I always check to make sure that I'm happy with the bottom. And then you stamp and it's just going to be loaded with ink and it's going to be awesome. Now, if you'll notice what I did on mine, I didn't make it perfect and not all of it even fell on the tag. Some of it is off and that's okay. Also, we have, this is Raspberry Ripple and I have a matching ink. So here's what I think looks really cool. You're going to put the loop through the hole and then you're going to pull this back up through the hole and then pull it. And then there you've got your tag. And this could be put on the bag like we had earlier. I do think it would be nice like on a brown wrapper, which is pretty cheap. This plain brown wrap, and then put this on the top, and you could put to and from or just put the name of the person that's getting it. So it's very classy looking. I was noticing in the store the other day, this woman named Martha, she sells lots of products, she was selling these plain tags. So I thought, heck, we could make ours look better than that. So I used confetti paper on this and punched the hole. I actually started with a rectangle and then I cut off a corner. Now to match the other corner, take the part you just cut off and put it on this side and measure that to make your other corner. Because if you ever try it without, somehow I just can't ever get it to match. So that's one way that it will be symmetrical. Cut off the little angle here and then just put it on the other side to measure the other angle. Just make sure you leave a little flat part whenever you're making your own tags. You can do as big as you want or as small as you want. And obviously we sell punches for that too. Here are some cards that I have made using that stamp set. And there's the sled, and I actually colored this one in. I did use my Big Shot for some texture. And I fell in love with the skates. I bought some of these when we were in Alaska, but evidently I sold them or something. So all of these are basically watercolor, and the Festival of Prints paper was used here on this one. Some more skates. Same paper that came out of that pad that I was telling you about that I like so much. Used the Big Shot to make this big scallop, and then I ran it through to texturize it. And here we go again. And here's some more of the seam. Oh, can't remember the name of it. Seam something ribbon. It's very flat, and I love it. I have probably 3 of different colors of this because it lays so flat and nice. Okay, so now you know how to make the tag. The last thing that we're going to do is the card. This is what your card is going to look like. You're going to have some strips of paper and you're going to use this multi-glue. Take the fat part, squeeze a little bit out, and that way it's kind of like a glue stick, but it's wetter than that, and that's going to hold your strips. And play with your strips ahead of time before you actually glue them down. And then you're going to have a tag here. It's already punched out for you, but I just want to show you what that looks like. Okay. And I always turn it upside down when I use my punches. That way I can actually see what I'm doing. And pop out it goes. But you already have that done. And then we also have baby Jesus in the manger. So I actually am going to let you cut that out. Wasn't that nice of me? And so you will just trim around that. And then you will have, you'll have the little 3D pop-up circles that will raise them up. But you'll have the sample card that you can look for on that. And then also you'll have a star that you'll cut out. And I just suggest that you trim around the sides like that. Don't spend too much time on it. It should be simple. Stamping is fun. Oh, here we go. This is what I mean. The dimensionals. Okay, let's see.